Welcome to Twisted Monday. Chat has just figured out that because we're playing as Flower Power this time, I have the perfect emotes on my Twitch page. Frankly, I didn't realize it, but I'm glad they're more creative than I am with the things that I made. So, I was practicing Pure Lunacy. We're not going to do this on Pure Lunacy. I will show off why we won't do it on Pure Lunacy, though. First, let's see if we can actually hear Amber's story. I forget if it mutes the dialogue when we turn off the music. Let's find out.
The world is being ruined by these macho freaks driving around, shooting and destroying things. Tiny forest creatures are in danger. Boycotts and picketing are useless. Fighting isn't cool, but it's up to me to save our beautiful planet.
And now I understand why they made her sound like that in the TV show. As her one voice clip ever was similarly nasal and grating. But that's obviously the main reason we're playing as Flower Power. She has a fairly small role in the TV show, but it's memorable. Because what an obscure character for them to have dredged up. No one expected Flower Power. And it's the first time Twisted Metal has ever had explicit LGBT representation. That's a small spoiler, but a completely meaningless one, so I don't mind spoiling it. One could argue that Drag Queen from Twisted Metal 4 counts if they wanted to piss me off. Starting off with a gift sub. Thanks for showing up, Pizzerato. I feel like it's been a while since you've made it to one of these streams. But yeah, it turns out Flower Power is gay, according to the TV show, which there is no relevance between any TV show character and their video game equivalent. So that's not a big deal. It's not saying anything about the games. This character we're playing as now is just a nasal, obnoxious environmentalist nag. And it's kind of hilarious that one would be an environmentalist in the post-apocalypse, which is where the TV show takes place. So they kind of drop that. Instead, she just cultivates flowers in the post-apocalypse. The world is otherwise over. Hell yeah, Pizzerato. Saying the quiet part loud. I'm not going to repeat that for the YouTube crowd, but they know the deal. I've not been subtle. So yeah, honestly, Twister was my favorite character in the TV series. And she ends up being Flower Power's girlfriend. Although I think even the TV show got sick of the voice that they gave Flower Power, because she ends up getting shot in the throat and muted permanently. But there were 2 episodes of the TV series where they just introduced a bunch of loser characters from throughout the games. And those end up being 2 of the best episodes of the series. They're largely unrelated to the rest of the series. They just set up characters that, in one instance, end up being important later, and in another are just loser characters that they wanted to show off, that they understood the reference. So they show off Flower Power and Granny Dread, who ends up being surprisingly heartfelt. Like, that episode was probably my favorite of the entire series. And it ends with Twister openly weeping. And they earned it. Like, it's an emotional moment. No wonder the TV show is actually pretty good. And the other episode is just utter pointless nonsense, but it's still pretty entertaining. And it has Twisted Metal 4 characters, including the one that I am actively avoiding talking about, Drag Queen, of course. Their portrayal of Drag Queen is much better than Twisted Metal 4's, which is horrifically offensive. Especially if you read the manual. The game manual to Twisted Metal 4 has one hate crime in it. Just the one, though. Which, for an edgy 90s thing, is on the low side. Yeah, Drag Queen ends up being very cool in the TV show, and honestly, I didn't connect the Drag Queen in the show with the one in the games, weirdly enough. Because I so thoroughly do not think about the one in the games. Ever. And they really could have done more with the loser characters throughout the series. Instead of giving them each one episode where they cameo like 5 of them. So they all get a couple of seconds to shine. This didn't quite happen in the TV show. Flower Power actively hunting and murdering Granny Dread, although no need to spoil that necessarily, but ultimately it's not that far off from what happens. Oh, the full health got taken. I was at a point where I was counting on that. At least Hammerhead didn't get it. Chat being very positive. One of the most positive chats you're going to find on Twitch.tv. Now let's try and survive this, because I only got the 1 life left. Oh, I hate when that happens, that's for sure. So the TV show pretty much needs a season 2, although the season 2 will likely be much more focused on a handful of characters, which means fewer loser character cameos, which is exactly what I want. I don't care as much about the overarching plot. It's almost funny that my biggest complaint about the TV show is that they dick around a lot, waste a ton of time. And what I really wanted them to do was dick around more and waste more time. But in different ways. If you're gonna cold open, at least make it about, I don't know, Damian Coles or something. Or Club Kid, who I think doesn't have an actual name. I am actually kind of surprised by how aggressive all the enemies are. I've been playing this game a lot, but on Cream Puff difficulty, which I can get through without any game overs. Consistently. Whereas in this, I just game overed. So yeah, the TV series needed to clamp down and focus a bit on its strengths and ditch its weaknesses, and I think a season 2 would do that. A lot of TV series have the issue of not really knowing what they're doing on that first season. And they end up being good as they progress. First seasons of most TV shows end up being kind of weak. But of course, they have not been renewed, and they have no idea if they're going to get renewed because the ongoing strikes prevent any knowledge of anything from reaching anyone. Attempt. Here we go. Napalms. You can actually use napalms via close enough. This is one of the characters that is close enough to the ground that it's semi-feasible in a lot of instances. Do a little breakdancing. Not necessarily what one does to flower power music, but close enough. And use our special to finish it off, because our special has fantastic homing. Some of the best homing of any weapon in the entire game. Good stuff. It's a pretty weak special, but for finishing enemies, it is very helpful, and you often need that as an enemy with 1 HP is hurtling towards a full health refill. You just need to prevent that from happening. Flower Power Special is the best way to close that deal. I did talk a few times about the tonal inconsistencies of the series. How it gets unbelievably dark sometimes, and other times makes you listen to Barbie Girl 5 times in a row. As a hilarious joke. And obviously the origin story for Sweet Tooth, his nicknames, both of them. And his general murderous attitude. That was the hardest to watch part. There's an entire website dedicated to warning people about the sort of stuff that happens in Sweet Tooth's backstory. Called doesthedogdie.com. All of our homing is just slightly terrible, except for that special. Here, let's use the special. It never misses. Trust the flowers. They actually do have a surprising amount of power. Oh, Darkseid teleported behind me. Look at him go. He's a perfect target for our napalms, especially if we can turn him on his side. Oh, he got a health refill, I think. That or we just did Less damage than I thought. Not quite sure who decided that Darkseid should have a flamethrower special, but it is more appropriate than his tiny bolt of ice, Twisted Metal 1, which is the only reference they had at this point. Yep, normally this would be Pitch Shifter in this level. Love that song. And just trust our special. We're gonna need to reload lives. Because I am performing very poorly. Although, let's attempt the speedrun trick. If we get the speedrun trick, we'll be just fine. The speedrun trick is ridiculously hard with flower power, but I have done it before. Her top speed is terrible, so you need a lot of runway, and you need to swerve at the right moment, and you need to not get interrupted by enemies. Swerve too much. No. Well, might as well try this until we die. So I was planning to reload lives anyway. If you missed the speedrun video, you're in for a treat if I actually get this. Because you can wall kick up to the upper level. Skip all the switches, which is not only fast, but it locks all the enemies in this central area, where they will then all get zapped by the environmental attack, which deals most, if not all, their health in a single hit. Looking good. Beautiful. But we landed on one of the bad platforms, so gotta do another boosted jump. About here. Ran out of turbo. Could not bring it home. Hate when that happens. Oh, it didn't even read my jump input there. Obviously, this would be a very bad speedrun, but hypothetically, could have been a good regular run. Anyway, now it's time we just get those lives back. I'm surprised anyone has tasked Twisted Metal 3, but apparently someone has. Honestly, the top level speedrunners are so good that it might have been a legit run. Now quick, select start, L1, down X. And we continue. Sick burn from chat. I mentioned this character was especially hard to do the trick with, though. If I got in the jump there, it would have worked. Like so. God. It's very frustrating. We should not be trying to do the trick with flower power. I got it once, but it's real hard. It's kind of a shame that in the game the character is character of flower power, that is, Sort of one of those 90s fraudulent hippies that is actually not trying to help anything. The only thing she's protesting is twisted metal. Because it's running over flowers. Real single issue. Sort of environmentalist. Two down. Might be able to special Granny Dread on out of here. Never mind. Thankfully, our special regenerates very rapidly. And is very good. So now, we'll throw our ninja throwing stars at the foes. Twisted Metal 3 had an eco-terrorist character. It probably would have made up for Twisted Metal 4 having a transphobic character. Preemptively, of course, but it's the same development studio. Instead, no game in the series really has any likable characters. They're pretty much all murderers. Best among them are people murdering for just reasons, like a loved one was murdered or something. That's really the best they can do. But I imagine if Twisted Metal really did happen, and people really did sign up for a murder contest, they would probably not be the best people in the world. Gotta assume they would largely just be people who are willing to kill a bunch of other people to get their wish, aka billionaires. Though that's something they've never actually had as a driver in the series. An explicit billionaire. There have been two people who wished for a lot of money. But in one case it was a trick, and in the other case the money killed them. Calypso indeed must hate money. Though it is frequently suggested that Calypso is very, very wealthy himself, and is just an idle, rich madman whose only means of interacting with the world is to destroy it in supernatural ways. Well, my North Pole's going pretty well. Which is one of many things that I've said in the context of Twisted Metal that sounds at least vaguely gross out of context. But only one enemy left. This honestly rivals some of my better speedrun times in North Pole, because this is a level with no real tricks. Even using the lightning is kind of worthless. And that is in the 1 in a million chance you get a decent pull out of your lightning. Up. I spoke too soon. This is now a bad run. Outlaw got a health refill. So the enemies can drive no problem on that ice curve, but I certainly cannot. What is Outlaw doing? It's got two drivers, and apparently they just don't disagree with much of anything. Don't agree on much of anything they're doing right now. Just hopping around randomly. I gotta show the world what game this song is from eventually, because it's a weird one. Called Mad Panic Coaster. Remote bombs it is. Should have defaulted to that much sooner. We have not done flower power before. And I figured this was the best possible time. Well, with her recent, probably the most popular thing she's ever been in. The Twisted Metal TV show, which apparently the numbers are in, and it is fairly popular. We don't actually have these specific numbers. But it was pretty successful among Peacock shows. We've done all of Twisted Metal 1, 2, and Black. The rest of the games still have a lot of empty spots. Twisted Monday-wise. This is one I was saving for a special occasion. Because it's a character who only appears in one game. So you really only get to see her the one time. Up. So the enemies killed each other. That happens a lot in this level, and I'm going to show you this level on pure lunacy. Once we're done here, pure lunacy finally answers the question. What would it be like if the enemies fought each other in Twisted Metal? Pure lunacy is wild stuff. It's a completely different game in a lot of ways. I've heard before that this game has the hardest hard mode of any in the series. And I didn't believe it until I tried Pure Lunacy out myself. I'll just get this off the field real quick. Uh-oh. Not going to get a chance to take advantage of much of anything right now. So I got one kill. Then I got all drunk and swervy. Or I could catch up to Outlaw. And the inevitable happened. Good thing this is just a casual fun run. Hammerhead threw herself into space somehow. That was odd. Been meaning to use the invisibility this whole time. I tried to there. It makes the enemies less aggressive, but they will still attack you. Essentially, it does nothing unless RNG feels like being in your favor for a change. Where are you going now? Good stuff. More of my regulars in chat. Awesome. I actually wasn't going to do a full playthrough this week. I was just going to do more speedrunning. Then I was like, Flower Power. It's pretty much my last chance to cash in on the relevance of the TV series. Because it's been like 2 or 3 weeks and no work of media lasts that long in relevance. I'm doing this badly on regular difficulty. Imagine how bad the highest difficulty is going to be. I assume Thumper just got the health refill. That is a dangerous place for a bomb. Good job, whoever set up that trap. I've just been told something. It's true, wow. So if you look at the hood of our car, it normally says love, but when we're so damaged, it turns to hate. Never noticed that before. Good catch, Drekkie. I knew the smiley face on Club Kid turned to a sad face. That one's very noticeable because you're always staring at that part of the car. Flower Power is not very fun and not very strong. So it does feel like I'm disadvantaged playing as this character. It has way more HP than I thought it did, though. I figured it would be in Mr. Grimm range, but it's actually probably comparable to Thumper here. Speaking of Thumper, where the hell is he? Certain he was going to die from fire damage. Indeed he did. Alright, I'm perfectly on my side. Can't seem to do anything about it. There we finally go. Turtle on its back. Every couple of minutes in this game. Three is just way too bouncy of a game. And it pretty much always feels bad to play. But I did sort of get the hang of it when I was speedrunning it regularly. I get Twisted Metal 3 in a way that I did not previously. Minion is the hardest boss in the game, but usually you just got to get next to him. He's done for. Now we're all frozen. He wins. However, I'm cheating. I wish I'd cheated a little better. I cheated right in the middle of him firing a special at me. Alright. We got this under control. Nope. He's perfectly beside me, which is the strat I'm supposed to be using on him. I'm getting rightfully called fraudly in chat. I accept your terms. This free shot failed at least. He's putting up more of a fight than I really would have ever expected. Hardest boss in the game that he is. I assume I lost that fight. Yeah, it did not say going on to the next level, so simultaneous deaths count against me. Sometimes. Oh man. I haven't been in this bad a situation since Grudge Warriors. Oh, you're kidding me. Well, that's another bad situation. I really should have put this save state much earlier on. Here we go. Out of turbo, or whatever it is. Heals energy attacks. So when I was practicing this level specifically on Pure Lunacy, I could not beat Minion, and I still can't beat Minion. Let's look for health refills real quick. Be hot on my trail to get one himself soon. And there aren't any, so it doesn't matter. Oh, apparently there's more horrible stuff to learn about Grudge Warriors that I wasn't aware of. That I missed during my own playthrough. Grudge Warriors is a game that I streamed a while back, Last Tyrant. A pseudo car combat game. The video is, weirdly enough, sort of taken off on YouTube, so even though it's 3 hours long, it's got well over 1,000 views. Will this playthrough end up being 3 hours long? Let's find out. We're free! Indeed, Pizzerato is the one who forced Grudge Warriors to spawn the world. It's far from the worst game I played. In the car combat genre, even. Now, one of the things this character is worst at is getting the radar. This is gonna suck. But it worked. It's a miracle. Crush Hour was competent all the way through, so even though it was depressing to talk about that game, it did feel like a game. It felt about an hour too long. I hope the enemies stack up. There we go. There's a good stack. Now they're going to be going for the full health. I'm fairly certain Hammerhead just got the full health. In fact, I pretty much can confirm at this point. Twisty missiles were pretty great, you gotta admit. That is going to upgrade any game status. So next week I'm probably going to try and get the last gold medal in Twisted Metal 2012. So you're probably going to actively want to avoid that, because it's going to be very frustrating. It's got to be done. So we're so close. And then I'll probably play non-Twisted Metal games for a while, and just do speedruns in the background, so that I can still call it Twisted Monday. I keep doing the invisibility input, and it keeps not happening. Weird. There's no health refills, so screw this run. Rio Dice is actually referencing a game that I did indeed see. Metroidvania platformer, starring a goat lady. I believe it's called Pseudo Regalia. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Looks pretty neat. Not a car combat game. I'm speaking specifically of car combat games that I could play on Monday, but I might also play some indie games during the week. It's just been hard to do that because speedrunning takes up a lot of my time. We were at Tokyo. I did play Dino Crisis 1, and I would like to play Dino Crisis 2. That's a thing for my Tuesdays with Static streams, which occasionally happen on Thursdays. Because Tuesday is whenever you want it to be. And right now we are doing Alice, which really just picked up on YouTube, finally. Alice is awesome. YouTube crowd should be enjoying it, as indeed they finally are. Line myself up and hope for the best. Good enough. I have absolutely no idea who just got shot. I guess it was Hammerhead. Judging by the health values. Everyone seems nice and beat up. But full health has been claimed again. At least it's by an enemy I can handle killing a second time. So Twisted Metal 3 is admittedly quite off the rails at this point. I have very little control over everything going on. This character is weaker than I expected. And has no real, like, gimmick or positive anything to her. Ultimately, she is just Spectre, except that her shots don't go through walls. That's what it feels like playing as Flower Power. You have an extremely accurate low damage special, and that's it. Oh, that was a bad idea. Also, you're very slow. The Flower Power vehicle is not very fast at all. I want to say it's on the lower side of speed among all the characters in the game. Oh, nice. Pizzerato has perhaps accidentally gifted subs to the Twisted Metal Black speedrunners who inexplicably follow me. Can't kill Mr. Grimm in the fan.
Who doesn't love an ice cream cone?
Chat, fighting to see who can be the most generous right now. That's where all the action is.
Who doesn't love an ice cream cone?
See, you're watching a terrible VOD right now on YouTube.
Who doesn't love
Of maybe my worst Twisted Metal 3 playthrough.
Who doesn't love
You could be over here
cone?
getting a free sub.
Love an ice cream cone.
It's Free Sub Monday.
Who doesn't love an ice cream cone?
I don't even know how many that was in total, but I highly appreciate it. There, everyone died all at once. I have a 1 HP. Anything I can do about that? Not so much. Apparently, this still doesn't count as a hype train. Shockingly. Twitch has impossible standards. Twitch wildly not designed for small creators. Like, it doesn't even promote your channel until you can draw 75 people per stream regularly. Which is not an attainable goal for pretty much anybody. Now let's get a little bit lucky here in this level and force this terrible character through. We got a good starting point. Up. Sweet Tooth might ruin it. Because Sweet Tooth... Okay, he didn't. But he could have gotten the radar before I did. Always sucks when that happens. Worth it. Wow. The train is official. Thank you all so much. 100 points put us over the edge. Hey, and I zapped a cop to death. In celebration, you see. I'll just let my stream alerts do the talking.
Doesn't love an ice cream cone.
Because they got a lot to say right now.
Love an ice cream cone. Who doesn't love an ice cream cone? Who doesn't love an ice cream cone?
I gotta make more of those stream alerts so that we have a little more variety. I've got plenty of ideas, I just haven't really had time to make them. No way, get back in there.
Who doesn't love an ice cream cone?
Now we're on a level 4 train, whatever that means. Sounds good on paper. People came prepared to be generous today. Hilarious in retrospect that I did not come prepared to play Twisted Metal. As I said, I wasn't even going to do a playthrough. There's Sweet Tooth. Must have a beat on a health refill. Yep, there it is. And he got it, because of course.
Let's go.
Flower power indeed. We'll take her at her word rather than her actions. And just agree to save the world. It's a good sentiment, even though the character does not embody it. Whereabouts can I maybe get some help? Pretty much nowhere. It's all claimed. This is a job for our special. Spectre is acting like he sees another health refill. I don't know where, if anywhere. Maybe he's just lost his mind. Can't believe that didn't hit. the full health came back. And Sweet Tooth is just officially unkillable. No matter how much damage I do to Sweet Tooth, he just grabs another health refill. At least the music is good. Cat's enjoying that right now. A lot of dancing plants and stuff. An occasional Alf. You gotta get the occasional Alf in there. If we were lucky, we'd be able to bounce Sweet Tooth into the open vent here. It'll take a lot of luck, though. Now for round 2. Obviously, if we die again, we'll just load up the next level. But Axel's here. Maybe he can provide some power. Or a power struggle, at least. Ren is stuck. He's gonna get out of there, though. Oh, apparently I have a hype train emote now. I might have, like, permanent benefits from this fluke event. One down. Hey, I won with 1 HP. Amazing. Oh, nice. My most recent Twisted Metal Black PB is not applicable for submission because I did not show off the difficulty at any point during the stream where I got it. But it would have been 5th place. It's fine, I intend to beat it anyway, so I'll go beat it and then submit that better PB. And I'll reload my lives. With a nice circle, square left, L2 down. I swear, I'm actually pretty good at Twisted Metal games sometimes. Obviously not all the time. But some of my speedruns are pretty solid. And speedrunning this game taught me about a thing that I either never knew about or had forgotten completely. The secret passageway right here. Shoot the little Anubis. It blows up. And that is a teleport directly into the tomb with the lightning strike. That is useful in the speedrun. Because the enemies get in there and they can't get out. And they'll just be stuck getting zapped forever. Let's grab these real quick. Honestly, I feel like I might have shown off that secret passageway on video before and then just forgot about it. But it's back in my mind. And if I hadn't shown it off, then the viewers have failed me severely by not telling me about it. And if I have, then I just failed myself. Equally likely outcomes. Oh, Spectre is in the tomb. He's stuck in there. That's fine by me. Let's keep abusing Warthog. Trying, at least. There. Bring a bunch of weapons into the tomb. And be well prepared to kill Spectre. Since this is Spectre, he could have just been firing his special out of the tomb this whole time. We'll light him up a little bit. One of my specials missed, which it should never be doing. I think he's dead. Yep. Regen activated. In some ways, this is handy because we need to lure the enemies back into the tube. And soften them up. No longer as irritated as I should be by Club Kid specials. I've come to terms with their horrible, unnecessary existence. And this level still sucks, no matter what you do. It's always going to be curvier than the engine itself can handle. Accidentally climbed the entire mountain. Up. Going into a whirlpool. Let's try and maybe use myself as bait here. They can't hit me because I'm halfway over the edge. They can force me in with them and steal the lightning attack. So, I guess they're just stuck in there forever now. With 1 HP apiece, except for Outlaw. Outlaw might just accidentally kill the other two. With the Area of Effect special. Grab a bunch of weapons. We're gonna need them. And just for some reason, they are forbidden to blow open that door. They have to live inside the tomb until I free them or kill them. All right, it's party time. Special apiece. And we just gotta fight you. Now, when we do a point-blank napalm, we do take splash damage for it. And I do not have much of that to spare. There we go. On to the final level. Which will require many more lives. But then we'll be done. So the blimp is a nice select left, R1, R2 left. I did confirm that different difficulties have their own separate passwords, which we actually learned the hard way by accidentally shifting onto Cream Puff difficulty during the Thumper full playthrough. Accidentally and inadvertently, for that matter. This character is apparently very poorly shaped for doing this skip as well. But if we do this just right, we will eventually get a shot through the laser grid. Unsurprisingly, Flower Power is very bad at it. Like she's bad at all the other things I've tried so far. The switch outlasted me. Now I've lured every enemy directly into the spot where I need to do a precise series of movements. Flower Power's story is that she personally doesn't like that the Twisted Metal tournament is running over a bunch of plants. And so she wants to bring it to an end. But no story that wants to bring Twisted Metal to an end has ever been successful. I honestly don't know what her ending is. That's part of the reason why I want to do this playthrough. See how this brilliant story for the ages finally concludes. Oh. Absolutely cannot line this shot up. Any other character would have destroyed the switch 10 times over by now. Unfortunately, we're Flower Power. So we're gonna have to do it legit. There's no way through that grid. That, once again, is going to be select left R1, R2, left. That's not R1. That's not select. Left. I missed the last input. I guess that's why the passwords are so complicated. Because every character needs 3 of them for every level in the game. 1 for each difficulty level. In addition to all the cheats being done using the passwords in this game. Blowing up the switches is actually not that big of a burden. The enemies are unfortunately killing each other while I'm trying to do it, though. Which means they are escaping. Hilariously, there's a password in Twisted Metal 3 that unlocks the ability to save your game. However, it doesn't save your game, it saves your settings preferences and nothing else. Hence why they didn't bother to have it unlocked by default. Still very silly. Twisted Metal 1 and 2 were very early, so they have the excuse. Twisted Metal 3, no excuse not to have saves. So no one's died at the moment. There's a health refill out there. Probably clear that out before anyone gets any ideas, Outlaw. Ooh, ideas haver. Oh well, Outlaw's ideas should be undone by hanging out in this orgy of destruction right in the center of the level. Surprisingly few takers on the lightning. I got one kill out of it. There's got to be some other health refills. Coming off a cooldown any second now. This game makes me so paranoid that I cannot enjoy it, even slightly. Too busy focusing on the concept of blue boxes being somewhere in the world. Now I know what it's like to be arachnophobic. Just imagining spiders in your presence, somewhere around you. Which they are. But you don't need to know that. Just block it out. Or embrace it, because spiders are great. Probably my most controversial statement of the day. In a stream that I am doing to celebrate the gayness of the video game character from 1997? Yeah, 97. Lose Sweet Tooth right into the portal. Means I could have blown him out of the level if I had him near the big hole in the ground. But we'll try and do that with the final boss instead. Sadly, no turbo available. That's... I guess my powers are full. My flower power missiles. If only I could move, I would put them to very good use. Like so. Now, I guarantee there's a health refill on the ground floor that he's going to go for right about now. And there it goes. Yeah, this game is actually way better and more fun on the lowest difficulty. His enemies are not as thirsty for health refills. Did he just get another one? I'd be unsurprised. This game. It definitely has the worst AI programming of any in the entire series. The stuff they get up to is just a nightmare. Who wants to fight enemies that are constantly healing and undoing the work of fighting them? And should be healing any second now. Has failed to do so. Now, I had 4 lightnings, which still would not have done very much to anybody. We just made the screen flash. Club Kit is actually kind of optimal for the speedrun of this game, which is a pain to have to admit. But his means of having to deal with Primeval sort of makes up for it. Because he's bad at it. But Flower Power is equally bad at it, and I just pulled it off. Let's get our ending.
So, Flower Power, your wish is for the world to be covered in flowers. Your wish is granted. I picked my favorites. Aren't they beautiful? I am Calypso, and I thank you for playing Twisted Metal.
Dime Store Poison Ivy. That's our big finale. Ah, man. Flower Power is not good in this game. And not a good character. But let's see how much worse she could have theoretically been. Yep. Hard to read. Passwords have so many different inputs that some of them look alike. For example, up and triangle. And now, some chat has appeared on my stream. Hate when that happens. OBS just adds a layer that I didn't ask for. Honestly, as Twisted Metal 3 endings go, that one wasn't as bad as they get. Far from it. So what we need to do is avoid the enemies and just collect all the health refills so they end up being ours. Oh, also, we gotta get some tunes going. Because the enemies are going to mutilate each other. 2 deaths simultaneously that we had nothing to do with. And if we just don't participate in this fight, they'll all kill each other. Maybe we can swoop in and finish them with that special, but even that is clearly unnecessary. So this is why enemies don't normally fight each other in Twisted Metal. Because Pure Lunacy tried it. And you just don't have to do anything to win. But now they are getting to the point where I'm the only one they can attack. Boy, are they ever attacking me. I think Raven's ending in black is just kind of... yeah, nothing. She wants revenge, and she gets it in not even a very interesting way. Just voodoo dolls. It's by far the least violent ending in that game. Among the revenge wishes. I guess you could say Axel's, but bonus characters barely even count. Just feels like they didn't have much of an idea for what to have Raven do. Seems like they assumed she was too small and young to physically murder somebody. Or even just steal a key off a pulley to make an Iron Maiden close on people. Which I guess is why Dollface's boss is called Iron Maiden. Because in Twisted Metal Black, he killed Creel with an Iron Maiden. Never actually realized that before. So, Augur still has 1 HP, I'm surprised. 2 even. Which will take probably more than all my specials combined. If I even get the chance to move. So when I was speedrunning this game, we observed that the fastest recorded time was on Pure Lunacy difficulty. And we were kind of curious why Pure Lunacy would be the fastest recorded time, even faster than easy mode. And it's clearly because if you get lucky, all the enemies kill each other immediately, and then you just have to kill one enemy at the end. So a very luck-based run, but they all are. You do have to be extremely good in order to fight the bosses, because those are still one-on-one fights, and they are much harder on Pure Lunacy than anywhere else. So I never went in here expecting to, like, win. Just show off that this is absolute nonsense. It's... you could say Pure Lunacy. Never assumed that the name of the difficulty would be so accurate. There you go. In this mode, you either win or lose very, very quickly. And we are about to lose. Maybe? Minion is toying with me. There we finally go. And we're done with Flower Power. Not a fun character to play as. Officially. But I did enjoy her in the series. And that counts for something. Real surprise appearance that no one expected. Okay. There we go. So, normally I start speedrunning a brand new game at the end of one of these runs, but I'm a little burned out on learning new speedruns every single week. That's actually quite difficult to do consistently. Doing it 5 weeks in a row is my limit for now. So I'm just gonna speedrun Twisted Metal Black a couple more times right about now. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention, as chat just brought up, Flower Power also has the Easter egg where you get an upskirt shot of her, which is an early precursor to the Naked Raven cheat in Twisted Metal Black. Twisted Metal has always been secretly horny and thoroughly buried all that unfortunateness. So yeah, that's a thing. Showed it off in the Let's Play. Have said more than enough about that. So, Twisted Metal Black, further speedruns right about now, because that's fun. I enjoy that. And then we'll see what I do for the rest of the week. Next week we'll probably start a new speedrun. I've rested a little bit by playing a very hard game very quickly. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.